And I think we're live. Let's turn this music down a little bit. It's a little loud. Just make sure this is all working before we get too far. There we are. Hello, everyone. Let me open this up. Alright. Hello. Hi, guys. Sorry that it's like 5 minutes late. I was having issues with the Streamlabs that I'm using, so yeah, we're gonna wait for some people to join in, and then we'll start working on what I got right here, and I'll kind of explain what we're doing today. This is for 10K subscribers. Also, I was going to leave a link to the homemade TCG server. So let me go ahead and let me send a server link in case any of you wanted to join the homemade TCG server. Okay. I'm gonna leave it in comments. Let me know if that works. I'm gonna pin this. Can I pin this? How do I pin this? Pin. I don't know how to pin that. Alright, well, I don't know how to pin messages anymore, but hello, everyone, to my 10K subscriber live stream. Got a lot of stuff going on here. Hello, everyone. Okay, so that Discord link is the link to the homemade TCG Discord, and I'm on there. A lot of different creators are on there, so if you choose to use it, you guys can check out a bunch of new TCGs and such, and you can chat with me in the Heroic channel. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it in the description of this video, actually, since it won't let me pin it for some reason, so let me figure out how to do that. Let me put that there.
Looking for the best music for your videos?
Oh, that's an ad.
Then you should check out Archetypes.
Skip the ad, skip the ad, skip the ad. Hello, everyone. Sorry that's a little slow right now. I'll start answering questions and such once I figure out how to do this. Save. Okay. That should be in the description now, but who knows? Yeah, it is. Okay. Hello, everyone. Alright, let me know if the music is too loud, by the way. I can try to quiet that down. But basically, we're working on some Heroic Set 2 art. As some of you know, I don't think I ever made it very public except for on the Discord. I'm starting to convert a lot of the art that I made for Set 2 into digital work. So as you can see right here, I don't know if you completely recognize it, but this is Black Hole Paladin. Here's the original art. Let's see if I can. So there's the original art. And I know that the Paladins was something that you guys always really enjoyed. So, we're gonna do another Paladin today. So I made this line work last night, and I thought we would go over the coloring today, do some of the coloring together, and I guess just talk. Alright, let's make a new layer. So now that I'm starting to get used to Photoshop, because I didn't used to do a lot of digital work in the past, my like general process is I start with a sketch. So let me hide all these layers. I start with a sketch. So this is my red sketch like this. Then I go over and do my basic line work, and then I do my sketch line work stuff. So yeah. Alright. Shall we do our coloring? This might be a little laggy. I don't know how it looks on your guys' screen. Alright. So we need basic skin tone, one that we've already used. Let's go maybe like that. Increase the size. How's that? Alright. That looks pretty good. I'm doing good. Do you play D&D? I just started my first campaign with some friends over while we're all in quarantine, so I've only played once. Are you making all your cards in Photoshop now? Yes, I am. Alright, guys. And I used to use the paint bucket tool a lot, but now I no longer use it. That's because I used to use Illustrator, and Illustrator was more based around paint bucket tool. But how's that skin tone? That's good. Yeah, and Illustrator's I think Illustrator's more like a beginner art platform. It's a little bit easier to understand than Photoshop for the most part, I think. And it's a little bit quicker because you can use that paint bucket tool more effectively, at least of my knowledge. But we are using Illustrator today. We're using Photoshop today. It allows me to do a lot of things I couldn't do in Illustrator because the shading system's a lot more compatible, and you can do it more with shading and lighting and different like effects. As I posted in the Discord, I've put like a little bit of art in my Discord, or in the Homemade TCG Discord, that just shows you what I've been doing for set 2. And I've done like lightning and stuff, which is something that's, one, very tedious and takes a lot of time, but is a lot easier to do in Photoshop than it is to do in Illustrator, just from how the systems work. So, do you know how many cards are going to be in set 2? Jerome asks. I'm probably going to go for about the same amount of cards that I did in set 1. So I think set 1 had 73 cards, 72. So probably something around there. And before I started making all my cards digital, I had 30 cards done. So now I'm starting to convert them all to digital. So it's gonna take a while, but trust me, it's gonna be worth it. These are gonna be super, super cool. I'm really excited. And they just look more professional too when I make them digital, which is nice in case I ever want to like bring them to a company or something. They're just more professional looking. You like the music? Thank you. Are the rules the same? The rules, I think, are going to be the same. I've been playtesting with some of my friends some different rules. So if I do end up changing the rules, I will have a video about that, because I've been playtesting things like I've been doing like playing around with summoning sickness, whether I want to have that or not. I've been playing around with being able to summon more than one hero per turn without it being like from an effect or something, and I actually really like that idea because it allows the game to be a little bit faster. But it's stuff that I'm still playtesting, so who knows what I'm going to do. But the rules might change, they might not, because I think when I first made Heroic Set 1, it was very based around the same concepts that Yu-Gi-Oh has, and I didn't necessarily recognize that or admit that. So I might change around some of the rules for Set 2, but we will see. You never know. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. We're all in quarantine right now. Well, not all of us, but me. I'm in quarantine. Kind of just been chilling, playing video games, working on videos and such. Been having a great time. Kind of. I'd rather not be in quarantine, but what can you do, you know? Will you ever sell Heroic anywhere else? I would love to. That would require me talking to like companies and such, getting Heroic out there. That would be really cool. For now, it's just gonna be on the Game Crafter until I one, get Heroic Set 2 done, and 2, start contacting businesses and such. We'll see. It'd be really cool to have it in like Target and anything like that. Other than the artwork, would you change anything else about Set 1? Yeah, I think I would change a lot of the concept. Hold on, sorry. I think I would change a lot of the like rules of Set 1, because again they are based off of Yu-Gi-Oh for the most part, and I think that I could have changed how the game plays a little bit just to make it better, because it's a little slow in my opinion, but that's not necessarily bad. Like, I still think it's a decent game. I just would change some things, and I would probably I'd probably change some effects of cards, because I had like a ban list and such in Set 1 because a lot of the cards were unbalanced, and I think I should have play tested more with card effects and just like how they affect each other, in order to avoid like overpowered cards and like synergies and stuff that are like insane. So I think I would have just like taken more time with it in general and not rushed it, because I ended up having cards that were either too powerful or basically useless. So yeah, I think I would have just played around with effects more, and maybe change some of the rules. How long did it take you to finish Set 1? I think Set 1 took me maybe a year or two, but I was very off and on with Set 1. I would take long breaks of making Set 1. Alright, we got the basic skin tone done. So now what I do, once I've got my basic coat done for on Photoshop, I right click and then do select pixels, so then it doesn't let me draw outside of the what I've already colored in. It's really nice. So alright, we're gonna zoom in probably right there, and I do like a few different shades. Go right there, turn my smoothing up a little bit. What art program are you using? Right now I'm using Photoshop. Alright, so when I'm doing my shading, I do it in a few different layers, because some areas are going to be darker than others. If you guys want like a speed art video of like some of my digital work for Heroic, I might do that in the future. It just depends on if you guys want it or not. Alright, there we go. Let's move over here. So as you can see, I'm just doing it in the dark areas. And then we're gonna go in with some darker colors and make some areas even darker. Will you do another collab with a TCG YouTuber? Probably. I haven't really looked into it very much, but I know I've done one with like soaps. And I'm sure he'd want to do something again, so maybe we'll do that. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it, but maybe so. Alright. Let's take a look. So that's like our basic shading done. But now we gotta do darker shading. So turn this down a little bit more. And now this is for areas that are even darker. So right under there. Right there. That. And under the neck. And under his ear. When did you start drawing? I started drawing probably like 7 to 8 years ago now. I can't remember at this point. It was a while ago. That's all I can remember. Alright, got the shading done for the skin. We're gonna add some light tones, I think. Actually, we're probably gonna wait until the end to do highlights, because sometimes I do colored highlights depending on what depending on the background and such. So we might do like a purple highlight depending on what we do. All right, let's go ahead and let's do hair next, shall we? So since the hair is primarily black, we want to do like a really dark gray, because then we're still able to do shading. So maybe like that. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Have you thought of doing specific themes or stories for each set? Like how much bigger TCGs do? Yeah. Oh, wait, okay. Yeah, so I've been talking with some of my friends about doing stories for, like, Heroic, because I think another thing that was missing in Heroic Set 1 that I was kind of discussing earlier is, like, oh, it's got purple on the side. Okay. Anyways, I think another thing that I should have added into Set 1 was a backstory, because I think Set 1 lacked having a backstory to it, something for people to like connect to and like, I guess, enjoy. So I wanted to add in a backstory, like some lore to the game, and I think that's something that I'm going to be working on for Set 2 with some of my friends to help me make a good lore story so that you guys have that. Yeah, so I think that's something I missed in Set 1, and I'm going to try to do in Set 2 is give you guys some lore to like the characters and the Heroic universe in general. I think that's something that you guys would enjoy. Can you make more paladins? Yeah, I'm working on making the paladin class bigger in general, because right now I have 3 paladins done, and I know that the paladins is one of the like fan favorites of Set 2, and I might even rename the paladins to be something different, because it's very close to that Voltron, the TV show. And this is like one of those things I didn't really notice or like say anything about when I like first made it. So once I start photoshopping all these cards and adding in title boxes and such, I might even change the paladins to be named something else so that they're not super close to the Voltron series. Who knows? Will you remake set 1? I'm gonna leave set 1 how it is because it's already on the Game Crafter. People already have it. I don't want to like remake set 1 and people are like, ah, crap, I don't have it. So set 1's gonna be how it is, and you're gonna like visibly be able to see the difference between set 1 and set 2. One in just how much my art has improved since set 1, and it's gonna be digital, and the template and such is different. For set 2, as you guys have seen in a few of my latest videos, I've got like a updated template. It's like the same as set 1, but it's now digital, so it's just cleaner. Yeah. So set 1 will stay the same. Will there be a second game for Heroic? Do you mean like second set? Because I'm working on the second set, but I haven't thought about like doing like a board game or anything that resembles Heroic. Alright, so the sides are gonna be purple, so we're gonna wait on that. Oh, let me color in the other eyebrow. Oops. Alright. So once we finish coloring in the hair, then we will add in the purple highlights because he's got some purple highlights. Ooh. Felipe just subscribed. That was very loud. I forgot that I have the alert box on. Thank you for subscribing. Alright, let's make that a little bit darker. Alright. So this isn't full black yet, so we'll be able to go in and do even darker colors, but another thing that I really like to do with the hair is highlights now, because they just look really cool, especially if they're colored, so we'll do that. Alright. Looks good. I don't get very specific with my shading for the hair because it's usually pretty rough, and I kind of just do it based on where I put my detail lines. And I'm basically just trying to add depth to my hair when I'm doing shading, which is like, I guess you can technically say that's for anything that you're shading, is to add depth, but yeah. There we go. Pretty good. We're gonna add a little bit darker colors to make it even deeper. How long do you think set 2 will take you? Well, knowing how long set 1 took me, it might be a while, but I'm also in quarantine right now, so I technically should have more time to be doing like set 2. And I've been actually making a lot of set 2 cards lately, so it might be faster. And I've been doing about 1 card a day. So if you think about that, there's 70 cards in set 1. So that would be a little bit over 2 months, but knowing me, I probably won't be able to get a card done every day. So maybe like 3 months. That would be cool to have it done before, or like by summer. That'd be nice. Alright, let's unselect that. Okay, so that's our black done. We're gonna add our purple highlights in. So this is gonna kind of go over a lot of our shading, but that's fine. We can fix that later. So I think that looks good. What do you think about Eldritch Kingdom TCG? I haven't seen his stuff in a while, but from what I remember, it's like really cool. He does a really good job with his TCG and takes a lot of time, even into things like his Instagram and such. You can see how much time he puts into like the marketing side of it, which is really cool. So we're just doing some purple highlights, adding in a little bit of flavor to all of this. I'm probably gonna blend out this purple so that it's not super harsh and kind of transitions a little bit better into the black. How have your guys' days been, if you're in quarantine or if you're not in quarantine? I hope you guys have been doing good, making some cool art, working on TCGs or whatever. Alright, let's add a little bit more right here. Alright, let's back up. Okay, so that looks about right. Now we gotta do the side of his head. Because I made... Oops, that's too far. Let's do like that. My day was good. Same as always. Just fine. How about you? Pretty good. I've been having a lot of time to work on art in general. Getting a lot of heroic stuff done, which is nice since I usually don't have time for that as much as I wish I did.
Download the app
That
today
is an
and get a
ad
trial
if
of
I've
Music
ever
Premium
heard
on
one.
us. Restrictions apply.
Let's... Okay. There we go. Alright. Turn this back to Streamlabs. Yeah, I've just been working on a lot of art stuff for the most part. Been playing a lot of video games. Recently downloaded Rainbow Six Siege. Kind of a good game. Like that game. It's very good. Yeah. Also, if you guys do join the Homemade TCG Discord, which is in the description. Also, let me know if the link doesn't work. It should work, but who knows. If you join that Discord, that server's been alive for a while, but if you join it, you can always ask me questions there. I can't necessarily guarantee a reply, but I will reply as much as I can. Just do it in the Heroic TCG section. Alright, there we go. So let's blend the purple first, and then we will do the shading for it. Alright, so where's our smudge tool? Smudge. Alright. Join the Discord, it's great. Nice. Rune TCG has been very productive with this TCG. Nice. I have also been very productive with my TCG, which has been great. Alright, So we're just kind of blurring these edges, making them blend into the black so that's not as harsh. Because hair is something that's very like flowy. You don't usually want it super harsh. Unless you're going for that, doesn't really matter. Alright, we're gonna select the pixels again, and we're gonna do some shading. Turn this down. As you guys know, this is Black Hole Paladin, and I have Asteroid Paladin done and Supernova Paladin. And if you guys have any more ideas for Paladins, I'm always happy to hear you guys' ideas. I'll probably have about maybe 5 paladins done for set 2, so that it stays consistent with how I did set 1. So I think I had about 4 or 5 of each archetype or class, whatever you want to call it, done for set 1. Alright, so now we're just going to add even darker tones to the purples. Nice. That's it right there. Alright, let's back up. That looks good. His hair, done. Galactic Paladin, that's a cool idea. Alright, let's work on his eyes, shall we? Alright, his eyes are purple. We're probably going to do like a lighter purple so that it kind of contrasts his hair. Maybe like that. Yeah, that looks good. And I think that another thing that's going to be cool with set 2 is you'll be able to see how much I've grown as a digital artist, because even from the very first card that I will make for Heroic Set 2 that's a digital, it's going to be different from the last card that I make, just because digital work isn't necessarily my main platform. As you guys know, I do a lot of marker work, so it's going to be different for me, and I'll learn the program and how to make certain designs and such, and use the platform to its full ability. So I think it's going to be cool seeing how my art changes digitally as we go along with set 2. Alright. So for the eyes, I don't do a ton of shading because I don't want them to be too crazy. But I add a little bit on the top and bottom. Then I take another darker tone and do it again, but don't go as far. And then I usually do a very light tone. Do that in the middle, except that's a little bit spread apart. Kind of like that. That looks good. Could you make a comic strip based on your game? I have thought about doing that. I don't know if I necessarily will. I might make if I do decide to do it, it's probably gonna be for the lore of the game. So if I make like a lore story, maybe I'll make a comic strip that goes along with it, and then that's how you guys find out about the lore. But who knows? I have thought about it. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do to tell you guys the lore once I do make it. It's either gonna be like a comic strip or like a booklet of some sort. Who knows? Alright, so let's do this scar right here, make this a little bit darker. Alright, that looks good. Start working on his clothing a little bit. Sun Paladin, Lunar Paladin, those are good ideas. Paladins for all the planets. It's also a nice idea. Alright, so his armor in general is made out of about 3 colors. We got like white, black, and purple. Let's do the black first. So we're going to take a pretty dark gray again. And do all of our base coats. For me, one digital piece for heroic takes about probably a total of like 4 to 5 hours, just because it takes longer than it definitely does to do it like on paper, just because I'm not quite as used to digital work in general, and I think the amount of detail that you can put into it is a little bit more time consuming, but it looks great. And there's a little bit of a disconnect because I'm using this drawing tablet, but I have to look at my computer screen, so there's always that disconnect there. But it's something that I'll get used to over time. But I think it's going to be worth it. The longer that I put into set 2, the higher quality it's going to be. For sure. Alright. And maybe at the end of this, I will show you guys some of the cards that I've already done for set 2. So you guys can take a look at that. I have posted them in the Discord too. I posted like one of them in the Discords, if you guys want to see it. Alright. The thing that's nice about the Paladins is it's fairly easy to convert the background to digital, because it's a lot of just blending a few different colors, because it's in a galaxy, so it's a lot of just cool colors blended together, and then I throw some stars on top. So if we do get to the background, that shouldn't take too long. Do you live in the United States? Yes, I do. I live in Minnesota. As of right now. Hello everyone that just joined the stream. We've got a lot of new people here all of a sudden. We're just working on some Heroic Set 2 art. We're working on Black Bolt Paladin. If you guys have any questions, you guys can leave them in the comment section and I will try my best to answer them. Will Season 2 be on Game Crafter? I assume you mean Set 2 of Heroic? Yeah. It'll most likely be on the Game Crafter unless I decide to work with another business, but I'm guessing it's just going to be on the Game Crafter, which will be nice for all of us since it's all on the same platform then. And I know a lot of you guys already have experience using the Game Crafter, so I'll probably do that. Right now I think the Game Crafter is shut down because of the pandemic going on, so I'm sorry if you guys are trying to order anything. either my game or another game, because I think that they shut down for a couple of weeks due to the pandemic. So a lot of the orders are on hold right now. How to create an interesting battle mechanic. See, the thing is, Hero doesn't necessarily have the most interesting battle mechanics. I don't know if I can necessarily give you one game that I'm like, yeah, the battle mechanics here are really cool. I know that I like Magic for its tap mechanic, which I don't know if you necessarily can call a battle mechanic. I like Yu-Gi-Oh! For its battle mechanic, because it's got an attack position and a defense position, which thus changes whether the monster uses its attack or its defense. So I think if you're trying to make a unique battle mechanic, it's gonna just take time and playtesting and inspiration from different games and just brainstorming. I can't necessarily give you like ideas or anything, because one, it wouldn't be unique and I can't come up with ideas right now, but yeah, I think it's just take inspiration from different games and then coming up with your own ways to change it and make it yours, which is kind of for a lot of things, which I've said before. It's like, that's how you make like an art style, that's how you build your own game. Do you watch My Hero Academia? No, I do not. I don't watch a lot of anime, although I get asked if I do a lot. Okay, so the black is done for the clothing, so we're gonna go ahead and do shading. Make that a little bit darker. What drawing tablet do you use? I've had this drawing tablet for a hot minute. It's a Wacom Intuos CTH680. It's very old, so I don't know if you necessarily want this same drawing tablet. It's probably very cheap now. It gets the job done. It takes a little bit of practice to get used to, because it doesn't have its own screen to it. You have to look at your own computer screen. But it gets the job done. It does the same as another drawing tablet that you can get. It's just probably a little bit more time consuming to get used to because of having to look at your own computer screen. But yeah, that's the drawing tablet I use. I think Wacom makes a lot of really good products. I don't know whether you pronounce it Wacom or Wacom, but yeah, they make a lot of good products. I know that Huon makes good products too, so, and I think they're a little bit cheaper than getting like a Cintiq, but yeah, I would just check out any of those companies if you want to look for a tablet. Do you play MTG? Yes, I do. I think MTG is probably my favorite card game right now. I think that there's like so many mechanics in Magic that like once you start to like learn the game, you find out about, and you're like, whoa, this is like way more complicated than you first thought, because it can get a lot more complicated depending on how you want to play the game. And I recently found out about Commander, so yeah, I do play Magic. Magic's probably my favorite card game right now to play with my friends, and I would recommend it. It's a good game to pick up. It's a very expensive game to pick up if you want to play it competitively or anything. Just a thought. But that's kind of with any card game. The more you spend on it, the better your deck is, and thus the more money you spend. Alright, how does that look? Let's back up a little bit. That looks pretty good. We got some basic shading done. let's go ahead and make it even darker. If you play MTG, what format? I do a lot of like modern or I used to do a lot of modern, but I'm starting to enjoy Commander a lot more than I enjoy modern, just because of the amount of, like, I think there's just more that you can do in Commander than you can do in modern. Although I do like modern. Where'd my music go? Hello? There we go. Do you watch sports? Not really. Not for the most part. Every once in a while. Will this stream be uploaded afterwards? Yes, I think so. So if you guys missed any of the stream, you can check it out afterwards. Oops. Alright. I think we got all the extra dark parts. Yep. Let's see. Alright, I think we're gonna leave highlights to the end again. That looks nice. Let's take a look. Alright, that's what we got so far. It's looking pretty sweet. Not gonna lie. I like the colors. They turn out really good. Alright, so here is the original art again, as you guys can see. And you can just see the improvement. It's also because I have to draw very small when I'm making cards on those. So the amount of detail that I can get into it is kind of limited. But yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and do the purples of the suit. And then we'll do the whites. And then we can probably start getting into the background if we have enough time. Alright. Alright, so his shoulder pads are purple. And a lot of the accents of his suit are purple. Thinking about different official formats for Heroic, like using an Ace Rare as a commander. That's a cool idea. I haven't even thought about doing different formats for Heroic, but that is actually a really cool concept. Huh. I never thought about that. Yeah, like maybe bringing in different formats, because I know I've playtested a bunch of different rulings for Heroic, like whether I want to do summoning sickness, whether I want to allow summoning more than one hero per turn. So maybe like I have a different format that's different ruling, or I just change it in general. That's actually a really cool idea that maybe I'll think about going into set 2 on whether I want to go and work on maybe different formats for the game, kind of like how Magic does. I like your idea. That's nice. Where do you get your art supplies from? For the most part, I get my art supplies from Blick. Blick Art Studios. They have some like store locations around the United States. I don't know necessarily about outside of the United States, but I guess that's something to look up in your area. Also, they have an online store if you don't have access to like a physical store. But yeah, I get all my art supplies from Blick. And they usually have a student discount too. If you guys are a student, you can get a discount. Otherwise, I think Amazon sells a lot of decent art supplies if you are searching for the right company. And I know Arteza has a lot of really great art supplies. I know I've talked about them before on my channel because they have sent me products, but Arteza has a lot of good art supplies too if you guys are looking for either cheaper alternatives or faster delivery. Alright, we're gonna add a lot of highlights to this diamond here too. We'll probably do that a little bit later. Alright, looks good. And his belt's a little bit darker, so I guess we don't need to do any more purple. Okay. Let's grab a darker purple. And put that in there. What state do you live in? Right now I'm in Minnesota. Sometimes I am in Chicago. But now that we're in quarantine, I'm back in Minnesota. Okay, so I think that's all. That looks so cool. Okay, so what if I do edit? Is it layer? Oh, you guys can't even see it on your screen, but I'm gonna try to replace color. Image. I forgot what the command it is. Is it adjustments? Oh yeah, replace color. This color. I'll replace it with this color. Did that work? I don't think that worked. Adjustments. Place color. There we go. Let's make a little bit warmer right there. There we go, now we're looking good. I just had to make it match the hair a little bit more. Is it copyright if I use your art style in a TCG for myself? I will say that my game in general is copywritten, so can't necessarily recommend that, but also art is like made for people to use. I would just be very wary. I think if you're gonna make your own TCG, you probably want to try to make your own art style because it's gonna do better in general because it's something new that people haven't seen. Alright, let's go ahead and do our shading. Good there. Fuck. A little bit darker. Alright. What made you start creating your own card game? You probably answer this a lot, but still. Yeah, I do get this question a decent amount, but I don't mind answering it. I think I made, I started making a TCG a couple years ago, and I made it because I really enjoyed playing card games in general. So I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot with my friends, And I was like, you know what? I think I would be good at making something like this because I have a lot of knowledge about TCGs because I've played them so much. And I think that looking at my art style, I was like, this could make a really cool TCG because it's just different from like what you see a lot in TCGs. Yeah, so I was kind of just like, let me try this, you know? And then I posted it to YouTube and I got a lot of support for it. And I was like, okay, well, let me keep going. Alright, so there is basic shading done. The purple. We're gonna do darker tones. How did you come up with your art style? I've answered this before too, but I played I think it's pretty obvious, but I played a lot of Minecraft when I was little, and my art style is fairly based off of Minecraft and how their characters look. And then it kind of just morphed over time to what it is today. I slowly changed a lot of things. I have a lot of my old art still, and it's kind of crazy how much it's changed. I've gone through like 4 different styles of eyes, and my hair changed. A lot of things changed in my art style. The shape of the heads changed. They used to be a lot more rectangular. Yeah. It's roughly based off Minecraft, and then just from like doing years and years of art, I slowly built what it is today. And it's still bound to change because art styles changed all the time and you don't even realize it. Like sometimes I like will make a purposeful decision to change something in my art style. Like I recently changed adding ears into my characters, which is a fairly big change to an art style. And before that, I hadn't changed things in my art style for like a long time. So it was cool to finally change something because I haven't changed anything in a while. So yeah. Alright, let's do the highlights on the diamond. We're gonna have to zoom in a little bit. When do you think set 2 will be done? I'm hoping to have it done by summer, or like during summer. I can't necessarily guarantee anything, but that is my hopes. We're gonna add some rough highlights to the armor, since the armor would probably be shiny. Oops. But nothing too drastic because we'll still add highlights later on. Just a little bit, just to kind of add some depth. We'll make this lighter in general. That looks good. Alright, let's do the whites. So for my digital work, I never leave anything like completely 100% white, because it kind of just looks like you didn't fill it in. So this part is all technically white, so I'm just using a really light gray, and then we'll do the shading. Are there any other parts? No. How many cards have you made in set 2? When I had them all, like handmade, I had 30 done. But now that I'm starting to make them digital, I have 5 done.
You'll never hear what anybody else has to say.
Because I like only recently started making them digital.
All you'll have to talk about is your own conversation. The same is true for people who think all the time.
Here we go. Let's zoom out.
Use the word think.
Ta-da! We have the hair done, skin, armor. Next we're going to work on his sword, and then if we have time we will get into the background. Is it, or will it ever be possible to send fan mail? Maybe. I haven't thought about it. I'd have to get like a P.O. box or something. Maybe in the future. Alright, so he's got this massive sword. And it's a lot of the same colors as him.
The force of liberation will blow the world.
We're gonna use a lighter gray so that it contrasts from him. Maybe a little bit lighter. This music got weird. I'm not really listening. Can you make money from Game Crafter? Yes, you can. You can choose, like a profit. You get to choose how much you price your stuff, which determines on whether you make a profit or not. That done. Let's add the shading here. Alright, we'll add some shading up here and behind the ear, and then since it's a sword, it's going to have a little bit of shine to it, so we'll add some shine. Is that light enough? Yeah, it is. Alright. I like that. How's that? That looks pretty good. So his sword is purple. Okay. I'll select that. And the bottom half of his sword is darker than the upper half. Or I mean lighter, my bad. Too loud? I can't tell. I know if the music's too loud. How do you cut the cards to the right size? Well, I use the Game Crafter, so like technically I don't really have to cut them for like when I get them delivered professionally. But if you're doing them like homemade, I recommend using like a ruler and X-Acto knife and like measure out the cards perfectly 2.5 by 3.5 inches or whatever you have. It is quite loud. Okay, let me write it down. just do that. Is that better? Let me know if it's still too loud. Yeah, if you're making them handmade, I would use a X-Acto knife and ruler so that I can get those nice straight lines and have it completely measured out. If you don't have an X-Acto knife, that's okay. You can use scissors as long as you draw out the lines beforehand with pencils, then you know where you're going. Also, if you're using an X-Acto knife, just be really careful with it. Try not to cut yourself or get your parents' permission because they are very sharp and can be very dangerous. So I would just watch out. Get your parents' help. Is this dark enough? Yeah. Oops. Music's good now? Okay. I can still lower it if needed. I think I want to make her a little bit darker. Want her to contrast. There we go. Behind the ear, up here. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's back up. That looks really cool. Okay, so the part that I've got outlined right there on the sword is black. It's kind of just like a highlight part. Adds a little bit of depth to it. So this part will be gray and the other part will be darker since this half of the sword is darker in general. Like that. And then make the other half darker. Alright. That looks good. My art style is cube-like, but with my own kind of design. Is that okay? Yeah, that's fine. See, that's the thing with art styles. It's like, it's okay to take like certain things from art styles or like get inspiration from things or other art that you see and then just like add your own twist to it. So like, you're doing it right. You've got your own design to it. So I applaud you. That's fine. Okay, let's select these pixels and we're gonna add in our highlights. I'm just gonna add a few highlight lines, kind of like that. And the black we're gonna leave how it is. Alright, that is our character done. So we've been doing this for like about an hour, so I think we can go ahead and do the background if y'all want to see the background. So what I do is I make a new layer, bring this layer all the way to the bottom so that it doesn't affect the actual art. And what I do for Black Hole Paladin is it's a lot of purples, pinks, blues, blacks, very galaxy-like colors, and kind of just blend them together a lot. So as you can see right there. And I do it for one of my other cards too. I did it for the Saturn's Rings cards because I recently converted that to sorry. Had to sneeze. But I recently converted that card to digital, so we're going to do that again for here. So we're going to make our brush size a little bit bigger since we're doing the background. And since it is a black hole, it's very spirally. So we're going to kind of try to bring that into there. For some of the ace rares, would you think of doing full arts with transparent text boxes? So for set 2, I'm actually going to have all the text boxes be transparent because I think the art is just like, it's just too good not to have transparent. And one of the things that I always really enjoyed about TCGs was full art cards, because I think it's just like really cool to look at the art. So yeah. Alright, so we're just gonna do a lot of spiral strokes. I know this is gonna look like really messy, but this is kind of like how I always did it for Paladin cards. Is I just did a lot of different brush strokes, well, I technically marker strokes, and then I just blended them later on. So it's gonna take a lot of layers, and it shouldn't take too long though. But yeah, set 2 is gonna have all transparent text boxes. They'll still have like a gray tone to them so that you can actually read the text, but the actual text box will be a little bit transparent so you can still see the art in the back. Let's add in our black tones now so that we can go over them a little bit. Do you plan on making a set 3? Yeah, I plan on eventually making a set 3. Kind of want to see how set 2 goes. I haven't really thought about set 3 at all. Maybe on like what I want to do for it, but because I'm kind of focused on set 2 right now. But yeah, I hope to do a set 3. Alright, let's add in pink. So yeah, this is gonna look really messy right now, but trust me, it all kind of comes together once I smooth everything out, fill in all the white spots, and add in the stars. Let's add a little bit more purple values to it. Make them a little bit darker. Let's have these a little bit darker. Are you doing digital art instead of hand-drawn art now? I'm doing digital art just for Heroic Set 2, and I'll probably start doing all my heroic art digitally, but like I'm still gonna be doing a lot of marker drawings on YouTube and just in general. Like if I start doing more TikTok art, you'll probably see a lot of marker stuff. Let me save this real quick. You'll probably see a lot of marker illustrations just because that is my platform of choice, because I have a lot of experience using markers and I think it looks the best for a lot of my art, just because I have that experience. So I'm still gonna be doing a lot of marker illustrations. It's just for heroic. I'm probably gonna start moving digitally because it's more professional. You should do more heroic gameplays. Yeah, I need to actually record another battle video. I get a lot of comments about doing more battle videos. So I'll probably do that in the future. zoom out a little bit. So like that's kind of the general concept we got going on. We need a little bit more blue. And then what you guys will see is I'll blend this all out and it'll look a lot better. And the stars kind of bring it all together too. And we do have to add the black hole also in the background. I think we need some bright pinks in here. Have you ever made a level 3 card? Sorry, I missed that comment. Yeah, I have done level 3 cards as someone else responded. Mother Nature is a card that I showcased, and that is level 3, and I think set 2 is going to have some more level 3s, and going into like farther sets down the road, you'll see level 3s. They're going to be more powerful, have higher attack and defense, better effects. So yeah. Alright, so that looks pretty good for our galaxy. Let's go ahead and I'll show you guys what I mean by blurring it all together. So if I do filter, blur, Gaussian blur, which you can't see on your screen, but we can blur this all out so that it's all blended. Probably about that looks good. Let's make a new layer and we're gonna add in our black hole in the back. Alright. So Black Hole Paladin has just big black hole in the back. It's kind of just like spirally. And it gets darker towards the middle. Kind of like that. Make it a little bit darker on the left side. How many paladins have you made? I've made 3 paladins so far. This is my first digital paladin. This is Black Hole Paladin. Yeah, this is my first digital one that I've made, but I'm going to convert them all to digital. They'll probably, by the time set 2 is done, there'll probably be like 5 paladins. Yeah, and I know this is gonna look a little messy, but that's what the blur tool's for. Alright, let's back up a little bit. That looks pretty good. Let's add a few transition shades in here. Okay. Now we're gonna blur this out. So filter, blur, Gaussian. We don't want this to be quite as strong. Maybe like that. Are you using a drawing pad? Yeah, I'm using a Wacom drawing pad right now. It's right here. I think that, what is that little white spot? I think I might have accidentally Let me see what layer that's on. It's this one. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I think we need to add a thing by his foot. Make it look like he's levitating. So I just took this and we're gonna go like that. And then we'll make this a little bit smaller. Boom, boom. Take a little bit of a darker purple. Kind of like that. And we'll blur that out also. Filter, blur. Kind of like that. Nice. Are you making other class heroes like Moltens? Yeah, so I'm adding more to other classes too, so I know that you guys have seen me work on the classes that are in set 1, so I've got Moltens, Thunders, and Constellations. So going into set 2, there's more of all those also. Alright, let's add in the stars. So we go to yellow, and we just take something very bright, make this a lot smaller. Okay. So how I do the stars is I make like a cross kinda, and then I fill in the corners. And these I probably am not going to blur out. So I think they add a lot of detail to the whole piece and kind of contrast the all blurred background. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Have you thought of any other archetypes? I haven't necessarily thought about like specific names or anything, but I know that since set 1 had a class / archetype for the fire element, the light element, and fire, light, and electric element, then water, nature, and dark are all probably gonna get an element for set, or get a class for set 2. So kind of evens out all the elements. And I know that nature element in general is probably the weakest element so far, just based on card effects and such. So I hope that adding a class to the nature element will make it more powerful and a little bit more appealing for everyone. What do you think art supplies are better, colored pencils or markers? I personally prefer markers, They blend a lot better than colored pencils do, and they're more pigmented. They're gonna be more expensive than colored pencils usually, for the most part. But I think it's just a lot better payoff. They look a lot more professional. They're a lot more pigmented. You can blend them better. I might also be a little bit biased because I use markers a lot, but that's up to you guys. I personally think markers are a lot better of a choice. What heroic archetype should I build a deck on, because I really want to buy your cards? Thank you. It's kind of just depends on how you want to play, I think. Each archetype / class kind of plays a little bit different than the next one. So Moltens are they're kind of just based upon keeping molten dinosaurs on the field, and they're very like big dudes that will hopefully overwhelm your opponent fast because they're very powerful, have high attack and defense. Constellations are more about playing with your dungeon / discard pile and always having the opportunity to summon more constellations onto the field, always having the ability to have constellations on the field. They're very synergistic. They don't necessarily have the highest defense, so you kind of have to overwhelm your opponent fast with the amount of constellations that you can get out quickly. And what's our last archetype? Electric. Electric is a lot like constellations. I don't think it's quite as powerful, but it also works a lot more with the electric element in general. It's not like just the class, which constellations are. It's very focused on just constellations instead of the light element in as a whole. So I would say that the Thunder class is very based on having stuff on the field, but also working with the electric element in general. Alright, so we got the stars on the field, and now we're going to add in our dots. So I just kind of make this a little bit bigger. These dots are vital to these drawings. What is the best archetype in my opinion? In my opinion, I like to play constellations a lot. I like the amount of synergy they have, and I would say it's probably the best archetype if you have all the cards for it. So I know that like the starter decks that I supplied don't even have Hercules constellation in them, and you have to get them from the booster packs. So if you like really wanted to build like a really good constellation deck, you would have to get booster packs and hope you get Hercules. So it's a little bit harder to build, but constellations are probably the most powerful if you have all the needed cards and stuff, and you get like the shooting stars card, which I don't remember if that's in the starter decks or not. Otherwise, I would say after constellations, I would say probably Moltens is the next powerful. Where'd my music go?
Searching for music for your
That's
next
an
video?
ad.
Then you need to check out our list.
Okay. Have you tried to animate? I have tried to animate before. It's a lot harder than it looks, and it's very time consuming. Like I made that school bus animation on my channel like a couple of years ago, and that actually did really well. I don't necessarily know if you can call that an animation. Oops. If you can call that an animation, because it's kind of like one of those slideshow story animations, but For like an actual animation, I have done those also. They've been like very simple though. I haven't done like a big animation, but it's something that I kind of want to do in the future, hopefully, and make like a cool intro or something for the channel. What are the staple cards in Heroic? I kind of base off staple cards on like how early I made them in the game in general, and if they're fan favorites or if they show up on a lot of like the packaging and stuff like that. I would say Thunder Knight is probably a huge staple because he gets remade in every set, and he's the first card that I made in Heroic. I think Leaf Golem is also a staple card. It's a fan favorite. He's one of the big dudes of the nature element. I would say Aquamage is also a staple because he was on the booster pack for set 1. So was Thunder Knight. Let's add a few more. Oops. Who else? I would say Molten T-Rex is a staple. I would say Dusk Dragon is a staple. Oops. Alright. We got the background done. It's looking very colorful. What drawing software do you use? I'm using Adobe Photoshop right now. Will the molten creatures be in set 2? Yes. It's not going to be like the same ones from set 1, but they'll be more added to set 2. I haven't decided a name for set 2 yet. I know that set 1 is called The Battle Begins, but I haven't decided on set 2 yet. So we got our basic background done. I think now we're just going to add highlights. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and add highlights to our character. So let's start with the hair, it looks like. Select pixels. And I think our highlights, actually I think a pink would be cool to kind of contrast all this, right? Light pink. Go to pink. Turn our opacity down. Make her a little bit brighter. We just need to turn the opacity up. Make this more pink. There we go. Alright. What is an ideal amount of cards for set 1? I would say anywhere from like a 70 to 100 for set 1 is like the ideal amount of cards to put in a set. That's just based off of like what other card games do. I know that some go up to like 120. Those are pretty like big games also. They have the amount of artists and money and time to put into it. I personally do like 70-ish. So we're kind of just adding highlights throughout the entire thing.
Tyler sits just 15 feet away, though it can feel like the distance to Antarctica, approximately 47 million feet. Tyler desperately wants Anita to like him.
Alright, well that's an ad.
He also wants to explain the incident at the elevator.
Yeah, it is a lot of cards. That is for sure. go. Let's unselect. And then the next one is eyes. Which eyes we're not going to highlight since they already have highlights on them. Is that still eyes? Yeah. Next we got purples. Alright. Select. And I'm kind of just doing the outside of things. So kind of like where the black hole would hit, even though the black wouldn't necessarily be pink. I need to fix a little bit of stuff that's going on the shirt. Alright, there's all the highlights for the purples. Let's unselect. I think this is blacks, yeah. Select. Are you going to put Thunder Goliath in a starter deck for set 2? Most likely, yes. I think Thunder Goliath is one of the first cards that I made for set 2. And I know that a lot of people like him. So. And I also redid him digitally. And I posted. Oh no, I didn't post that. And maybe I'll show you guys at the end of the video. Alright, that looks good. Let's do it to the other side. And then we'll do the legs. Yeah, I know that set 2 has been taking a long time. I'm sorry. I think it's because I've been very uncertain with how I want to do set 2. And then I took a really long break because I wasn't sure if I even wanted to continue. Yeah. Alright, there's the pink highlights for the black. Next one is a sword, which I'm probably going to leave how it is. Okay, let's just fix some minor stuff. Okay. Let's back up. What is this? Oh, that's a scar. Scar's gonna be left alone. Alright, skin tones. Select. Yep, a delayed game will be eventually good, and a rushed game will be bad. You're very right. Oops. Let's make this a little bit lighter since we're going on a light skin tone. I want to make these highlights a little bit lighter. There we go. Let's back up a little bit. I think we're done? Question mark? Yeah. Alright. There's Black Hole Paladin, guys. Let's save that. File, export as. Just gonna add Black Hole Paladin. Alright. We got another card, guys, done for set 2. Let me show you Thunder Goliath. Since y'all wanted to see Thunder Goliath. Oh, sorry, that just took up the entire screen. Let me make this smaller. Alright, this is the Thunder Goliath art that I have done. Sorry, it's still taking up the entire screen. It's a big file. Let me know if you guys can see this. So there's Thunder Goliath. As you guys remember, he looked a lot like this. He's probably a little bit buffer in the original art. And actually, let me just grab the original art since it's right here. Alright, so the original art, like that. So I made him a little bit less buff, and I made his tattoo a lot better. And the lightning in the back turned out a lot better. So I finally learned how to make like good lightning, a lot more realistic lightning. What career path are you aiming for long term? I haven't really decided. I'm currently majoring in film, so like I want to be an editor. I really like editing, but who knows? I could do music, I could do art. I haven't like fully decided exactly what I'm gonna do, but yeah. All right, let me take that down. So yeah. I like your meme, Jerome. That's funny. Heroic logic. Holding something, fingers. Not holding something, there's no fingers. That's very true. I do that a lot for my cards. I might do it in the future where there are fingers when he's not holding something, but I could. It's just always what I've done, I guess. Alright, so I'm gonna probably stick around for 5 to 10 more minutes just answering questions from you guys. And if you guys weren't here from the beginning, there's a Discord link in the description that leads you guys to the homemade TCG Discord. And if you guys go to the Heroic channel on that Discord, you guys can ask me questions and look at some of the art. So yeah, I'll stick around for a little bit if you guys want to ask any more questions or have any comments or such. So yeah. So the cards that I have done so far for set 2, digitally is I've done Dusk Drake, Spartan of Rome, Saturn's Rings, Thunder Goliath, Black Hole Paladin, and then like a new card that wasn't actually made already. So how do you make the backside as well? I've gotten a lot of comments actually about making the backside and how to do that, but I think you want to include your logo on your backside. You don't necessarily have to, but I know a lot of games do, so I think having your logo on the back, and then it's kind of just based on what theme your card game has. So mine is very like almost medieval, has a lot of like swords and stuff, so I had the double swords on the back, and then I used like a leather texture on it because it's kind of like storytelling, and I wanted it to be very bright to match the color on the front. So yeah. How many heroic cards have you done for set 2? I have done 6 now. What is your favorite type? Do you mean like element for heroic? I really like to play water element because currently there's a ton of synergy in the water element for heroic. And I like the light element too. So once heroic set 2 comes out, I'll probably build like a water element deck because I think it's got some of the best synergy in the game. It's a lot of fun to build in general. What's the heroic channel? On the Discord, there's like a section on the left side that says heroic TCG, and if you click on it, you can ask questions about heroic and such, and I will try my best to answer. What TCG channels do you like watching? I honestly don't watch that much TCG content on YouTube. I don't even watch that much art content, to be completely honest. So I can't really give you a firm answer. I do occasionally watch a Chaos Galaxy video. I watch some soaps content. But yeah, I don't watch a ton of the stuff that I make, which is kind of surprising. What material do you use to make the cards? Well, now that I'm doing set 2, I just use Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, and a Wacom tablet. But I used to use Blick smooth bristle paper when I was making them all like hand drawn. And then I would use Copic markers and a Pilot fine liner to do the line work. Yeah, that's usually what I used. Any tips for trading card games? People ask me this a lot, but my number one tip that I give to everyone is be as unique as possible. I know that's semi-hypocritical because Heroic Set 1 was vaguely based off of Yu-Gi-Oh! And other cards in general, but I think that's part of creating art in general, is you're going to take inspiration from other games and other art and then implement your own ideas. But Family Nib just subscribed, thank you. I think just trying to be as unique as you possibly can, whether that's with your artwork or your mechanics in your game or maybe the lore to your game, just being as unique as you possibly can is going to be your number one thing. You hand draw your cards and you use cardstock. Nice. Whatever works for you. When did you start Heroic? I started Heroic. Scythex just subscribed. Thank you. I started Heroic probably 4 years ago, because I started it before when my channel started. I made my channel in 2016, so probably like 4 years ago, and there's been a lot of breaks in it, as you can tell. So notification bell and subscribe, thank you. How many channels do I have? I have, let's see, I've got my art channel, I've got my film channel, and I've got my music channel, which I think are all linked on my channel. Not necessarily in this description, but it should be on my other videos. I don't necessarily know if my music one is, but My music channel is Wanderstar, and like Wander, WANDER, Wanderstar Music, and my film channel is Films with Rachel. That one should be linked, and it's usually at the end of my videos. So I haven't uploaded on that one for a while, but I probably should. How old are you? I am 18. Yep. What kind of printer do I use? I used a Canon printer for a while. I don't remember the exact model of it, but yeah, I used a Canon printer when I was printing my own cards and such, but I don't do that anymore. How do I come up with my cards? I get a lot of inspiration from other artists that I see around, and from things that I see online, like social media, and just like the world in general. And I think my number one tool that I use the most, and that brings me the most, like, I guess gives me the most ideas, is Pinterest, because there's a lot of really good art on Pinterest. I think the one thing that Pinterest lacks is giving like telling exactly where their art comes from, because a lot of stuff is reposted on Pinterest, which is kind of bad for an artist. But Pinterest is just so easy to make like boards of just like things that inspire you, and then you can always go to those boards later on and pick certain things from different arts that you like, and you kind of combine them together or get inspiration from them. So I think Pinterest is probably the number one source that I get ideas from. Say hello to your cats for me. Hello to your cats. Do you have a dog? Yeah, I have a French bulldog named Izzy. Alright guys, I'm going to head off in 2 minutes, so if you have any last questions, go ahead and leave them before I end off the stream. Where should I send fan art? Oh, okay, that's one that's really nice of you to make fan art in general, but if you guys have fan art, you guys can send them to me on Instagram at Scribbles with Rachel in a DM, or yeah, probably on Instagram is the best, or if you use Discord, you can always send it in that heroic TCG channel. What style would you classify your art as? I would probably say cartoon, because it's not realistic whatsoever, and it's very bright colors. So probably cartoon. I do like realistic artwork. Like in my last video, the TikTok video, I did a realistic artwork. I know the colors weren't necessarily realistic, but the drawing was. And I really enjoy making realistic work, but I think for things like on my channel for the most part, and for my card game, I really like doing cartoons because I think it pops a lot more. Do you have Animal Crossing? No, I do not, but everyone is talking about it. Do you ever have difficulty putting your characters / foreground in the proper context? Sometimes, yes. I think when I make a character that doesn't necessarily have a good designated background to it, that can be difficult because I don't necessarily know what to put in the background. But when I do that, I sometimes just do like a color of some sort in the background. So let me show you. Dusk Drake right here. He doesn't necessarily have a background. I just decided to put brown and then have it fade into a darker color. So he does have like all these like leaves and stuff, but the actual background is just a color. So sometimes I will just do like a really like detailed color pattern of some sort. But it's kind of just coming up with creative ideas. So I've done a lot of like tornadoes lately because they add a lot of really cool detail to the whole piece. Lenny Gamer, thank you for subscribing. So yeah, I think you kind of just gotta come up with creative ideas. Otherwise, I think colors are a good alternative. can you come up with a video on how to come up with ideas for a card game? I actually already have made this video. You guys can find it on my channel. It's how to come up with ideas for TCGs. I have that video made. Do I know how to play any other TCGs? I vaguely know how to play Pokemon. I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Magic. I've played the Adventure Time TCG. I play Boss Monster. I know a lot of card games. I just don't necessarily talk about all of them. Thank you for shouting out the Discord. You're welcome. If you don't have Insta or Discord, you could always email it to me. Maybe through my business email, which is linked on my channel. Or if you have Twitter, I have Twitter. It's Scribbles Rachel. You could digitize your cards on Inkscape. I don't necessarily know what Inkscape is. Haven't heard of it. But if it works for you, you can do that. Should make more clay sculptures. I think I might do this in the future. I have to find my clay. I might have thrown it all away. And I might have to wait for the pandemic to be over because all the stores are closed. But if I still have the clay, I should probably make some more of those videos. It's 10 p.m. in the UK. Why are you still up? I guess it's not too late, but it's pretty funny. Will you have another stream later in the week? Maybe I might stream like some video games on my Twitch, maybe, but I'm not sure. Haven't really decided. It's kind of one of those things where if I stream video games, I kind of just do it randomly. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitch, it's Rachel Scribs. Should also be in the description of most of my videos. Inkscape is like GIMP and Photoshop. Okay. Alright. Well, that is all the questions for now. I just want to say thank you guys so much for 10,000 subscribers. We hit 5 digits, which is like super cool, and it's really insane to think about it. I try not to think about it too much because it's a lot of people. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for all of the support over these past years and all of the art that we've created together. It's been really cool. And I can't wait to see where this channel goes in the future. And I love making content for you guys. So I hope you guys are excited for the 10K video, which will come later down the line. I'm waiting for some supplies from some companies, but like it's being delayed because of the pandemic. So sorry about that, but we're gonna have another 10K video later on. Thank you guys for joining the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will have another video coming up next weekend. Otherwise, this live stream, if you missed any part of it, will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. So yeah, if you guys just enjoyed the stream, you guys can leave a like, leave a comment down below on any of my videos on what you guys want to see on my channel, and subscribe for more awesome art videos. And I will see you guys very soon.